Before we used AFRM, our close process, I would consider it a dark process. We didn't know exactly where we were in the process. We have 17 or 18 different business units around the world, and each had their own process. They would close on their own schedule, and even though they all closed within 4 or 5 days, we weren't exactly sure when each one of them was going to come in. And some of them would come in later than others. So we had to kind of guess, had to kind of feel about where they were going to come in. And if one was going to come in late, we weren't really sure when that was going to happen. So we decided to implement AFRM to give us visibility into that close process. It mattered because we promised our execs when we were going to have financial numbers for them. And if we didn't meet those time frames, it looked bad on the finance department, it looked bad on myself, and it looked bad on our CFO.
Yeah, the visibility has really been a huge gain. If you would have gone back to Mary Pat, the manager of our close previously, before our software, you would have seen a lot of sticky notes on her monitor or on her keyboard, just reminding her to do things. And you know, if Chris came and asked, where are we, she would have to look at her spreadsheet and also take into account all those other sticky notes that would go in or things that she would just remember to do. But now the visibility of having it all housed in the closing process, you can quickly open it up and say, we are 10% done, we're 50% done, we have 1 or 2 things that still need done, without having to account for all the different aspects and things that you just jotted down you needed to do. They're all in the system, so it's very easy to go in and know exactly at that moment in time where you are.
Generally, not having files in being able to be accessed in the shared drives just cause delays. Could possibly cause inaccuracies if you picked up the wrong numbers in closing the books. It would take time. Oftentimes, when you're looking for files, this is in the heart of the close. Time is tight, stress is high. You need to have those files come to you at the time that you need them. Example was in one of our recent closes, before we used AFRM, the finance team forgot to update some password, and we didn't have access to those shared drives, and we lost a whole day while they were restoring and fixing the problems. Using AFRM, we don't have to worry about that. That's all taken care of.
Before we implemented the system, you couldn't go and talk to Mary Pat. You couldn't go in during the close. Let's say that she was so busy trying to manage all the tasks. And one of the best examples I have is actually on the second day of a close, seeing her leave a little early. I mean, her leaving at 4 o'clock on the second day of close, I don't think you see that too often in companies.
And I don't think we saw that here before.
No.